Good morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is for you. For me, it's Sunday morning, 10 a.m., Los Angeles, week three of these support streams, and also week three of being inside. So that is happening for all of us across the globe. I don't know about you all, but I feel like I've kind of entered a little bit of a new normal. I think this past week, it all kind of hit. Hi, Laura. And I did a lot of grieving for everything that's going on. And now I feel like I'm a little bit more, um, accepting, at least in this moment, of our circumstances, um, we as humans have an incredible ability to adapt. So I feel like I've in week three I'm adjusting to the new normal. We'll see. That could all change anytime. How is everybody doing? Where are we tuning in from today? Um, let's see, watched Clueless last night with a bunch of friends, Yuri included, lots of the binge folks on that thread. And gosh, Germany, Canada. Gosh, that movie's fun. There are some things that are a little cringy, but it's a great movie. Colorado Springs, double Colorado. Excellent. North Carolina, New Hampshire. I love it. Germany, double Germany, I think. Um, Baltimore. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, have any of you started to experience an adjustment, like an adaptation? Los Angeles, an adjustment to the new normal that has been happening. Struggling for sure. Yeah, I relate to struggling. Gone back into some very horrible habits. It's easy to do during times of stress and anxiety, going back to behaviors that once served a purpose for you, whether it was comfort or distraction or um, uh, punishment. I think is very normal, and Shirley Moore starts schedule for therapy. That's great, Maureen. That's fabulous. Yeah, I think I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my defenses are low. So if I get some sad news or something doesn't go my way, I am left to manage that news. Um, mm, Appetite loss. That's hard. I mean, I think that comes with for some folks that comes with anxiety, that comes with depression, that comes with uncertainty, and just being sure to monitor it and make sure that you're getting all the nutrients you need um, because when we're not getting those nutrients, our brains can't stay healthy and we can't stay balanced. Um, oh, homemade pasta. That sounds delicious. I want to do that one of these days. Um, Lisa, yeah, I mean, you know what works for you, right? And I hope you have some support, whether it be a therapist or a nutritionist or some sort of meal plans or things that you can rely on. But like going back to what works for you, getting back into excuse me for my yawn. Getting back into habits that keep you afloat is really useful. Grace, that sounds like a really big challenge, and I really feel for you on that journey. Um, maybe there's something in this time that can help you prepare for the after. I'm not sure. Hard with anxiety. Yeah, yeah. Anyone else feeling a lot of anxiety? What kind of things help manage your anxiety? For me, activities that I can be fully engaged in, whether that's like video games or coloring books, um, or like a meditation, something that I need to focus my brain fully on, I find gives me some relief. anything to change your physical state, whether it's taking a shower or putting on lotion and then doing a meditation, yoga, um, changing your outfit, wrapping yourself in a warm blanket, moving to a different room in your home. Anything to change your state can be helpful to anxiety sometimes. Um, Taking a bath, doing a deep breathing exercise. Yeah, yoga can be helpful. Like, especially, I don't know if any of you have ever done Kundalini yoga. It's a lot of breath work, and I find that that can be really helpful to do a practice that is less focused on body and more focused on mind and breath. Journaling. Yeah, yeah. You can do this thing called morning pages or like a daily brain dump. And I've recently been encouraged to do this by a creative in my life, to do like a morning brain dump where you sit down for 10 to 30 minutes and you just sort of write. You just write whatever comes to your mind, and it allows you to kind of clear the chaos that's happening. And I don't know about you, but I'm very resistant to that kind of stuff because I am a writer. I want to reserve my writing time for something that's going to create a product. But that's sort of antithetical to the idea of art. And so with the encouragement of others, I've started to do a morning sort of brain dump, morning pages. And by started, I mean I just did it today for the first time. So if anyone else wants to join me in that, guided meditation, that's fabulous. I love that. You could put on some like sound bath sounds, maybe. I've done a sound bath in person and it was so soothing that I imagine there are some recordings that you could do. I'm sorry that I'm yawning so much. Gracie, I feel that yeah, and there's a lot of social media right now about exercising and getting in shape, and it's for me it just feels like way too much pressure. I try to make movement like as much as I can, like a celebration of what my body is capable of, and trying to keep it strong and flexible, but all in a lot of moderation. And I agree with you, with so much free time, it is easy to engage with that sort of obsessive and compulsive exercising element. And I think that's really great that you've identified that that is coming up for you so that you can watch it. I think things are most dangerous when we're not identifying them, right? Because then we can't use our brain power and use our tools to fight against them, right? Oh, I'm taking your, yeah. Um, so have you been successful in combating that shame? Um, Anxiety meds are fabulous. I take them every day. But I understand the shame element of that too, and I feel for that, and um, I hope that you can find some grace and and peace with yourself in that. Oh, good. I'm glad they've been helping. Yeah, why not? I mean, if we have a cold, we take cough medicine, right? Why wouldn't we do the same thing for our minds, especially during a time like a global pandemic? I mean, my God. It is a high, you know what? It's, who was my friend Kelsey was saying this, that it's both a time of being incredibly overwhelmed and bored, which are two physical states that are so hard to be in. Oh, Ash, I feel for you. I feel for parents right now, especially single parents who are expected to be at home and working and taking care of these children with no outside support. My heart goes out to you, and I bet you are doing a way better job than you think you're doing. And I think as long as you keep those kids alive right now, you are doing what you got to do. I mean, it is a tough time for everyone, but for those with children, it's so hard. Yuri, I hope this is okay to share. I think it is. Yuri was telling me last night that when he and his daughter, who's a wee little tot, they walked by her favorite park, and there's a sign that said the park is closed, and she said something like, that makes me sad, or that's so sad. And I was like, that is so sad. And I think a lot of little kids are mourning their favorite play spots, and I think a lot of parents are mourning having some place to take their children to so they can get a break. um Yes, getting a psychiatrist, yes, very important, very important. I think this is a good opportunity to any of sort of the mental health things um, that you've been putting off. Now is a great time to do them, right? Yeah, children are wonderful and take so much energy. I'm not a mother, but I have the most respect and passion for those of you who are at home with children right now. It's just got to be so hard, and know that you're doing something very hard, and that it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay, right? It's really okay. I think I missed a couple of messages. Um, it's easy to compare ourselves to other people online, or how people are spending this time. And there's just no right or wrong way to do it. I think we just got to keep making the next best choice, right? I want to. The person go something who just talked about, I have a hunch that therapists and doctors are getting a ton of folks who are really struggling right now. And if a doctor is going to say you're being dramatic or overwhelming, I think that doctor is completely misguided. I highly encourage you to go with your gut, and look into getting some mental health support during this time in all ways. Um, it's not over dramatic. Being a human being is really hard. Being a human being during a global pandemic. I mean, my God. I wish all of the governments of the world would give everyone a therapist right now. Um, yeah, and I know it's not always so easy as finding a new doctor. Insurance stuff is a nightmare. Sometimes we're stuck with who we're stuck with. Um, but if you can advocate for yourself, and if you can muster up the strength to figure out all of the insurance mumbo jumbo, which is exhausting and hard and all of those things, I highly recommend doing it. Forgive me for laying in bed while I do this, but I just don't want to get up quite yet. I also clearly don't have a very good camera setup because this is all shaky and whatnot. But that's where we're at. We're just doing our best. We're doing our best. We're doing our best. I did nothing yesterday. I watched probably 10 episodes of Bob's Burgers. I watched Clueless. I played Jackbox games with my high school friends, and did a FaceTime with my partner's family. It was good use of a day. I needed it. I needed to just sort of check out and relax and do the whole thing. What are some of your ways? Excuse me for yawn. We're on week 3 here in LA. I'm not sure where you're all at. 5 plants. Aw, that's so nice. I really feel for you, Finley. I wonder if there's a way for you to get some external support, because I completely relate to not knowing how to eat. Oh my God, I remember being in that state, and I just had no idea what to do. And I needed a nutritionist to come in and to tell me, and to just say, this is what you do. End of story. So if there's a way for you to get some support like that, that would be really great. If you're not in a position to do that, I used to like when I was in early recovery, and if I would travel or if I would go out to eat with friends, I would just try to model what I was eating after the people around me who I knew were like a similar size to me, and had a healthy relationship with food. I would try to kind of, make sure I was at least eating as much as they were eating. Um, as kind of a band-aid. I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know if that's any sort of a validated way to deal with it, um but just in terms of like getting something in your body, right? Um getting nutrients in your body, getting your brain fed, drinking lots of water. If that's all you do with your day, that's a success, really. Um because we need those nutrients for our brains to function right, and we need our brain function right now during such a terrible, scary time. If we're not feeding our brains, eh, we're just gonna we're gonna really struggle with this. We're gonna really struggle, right? Oh, smoothies, that's a great idea. Eliotel, I'm sending you a lot of compassion and grace and forgiveness for yourself. Um, you know, recovery is not a straight line. It's very up and down, and two steps one way, three steps another way. Excuse me for yawning. And any sort of symptom use does not negate the hard work that you've done. It doesn't, and all that work is still there, and it's waiting for you to pick it back up. And I believe in you. And today is a new day, and you deserve to get back on that horse, and um, to to give your body what it needs, and it's okay. It's okay that you went through a difficult time with it. It's okay that it's not perfect. It's never going to look perfect. That doesn't mean that you're not on the right track. Aw. Well, sending love. I missed a couple of messages that were on here. I believe. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. But it's happening. Oh well, you can drink some coffee. Oh, look at our masks hanging off of our mirror. That's the new normal. I do want to say though that we got those masks way before this pandemic. There was like a fire nearby, and we got them for that. But we donated our extras to the hospital. So we're not hoarding masks, I promise. LA is now fully masked outside the home. Here's another yawn. I guess I gotta get my brain oxygen? That's what's happening. Just go with it. Just embrace it. Yeah, it's this week. Some stuff that came up for me is it took us a really long time to get groceries this week. Mentrison, sending you love and stability. Oh, Emma, trying to quit drinking. Let me recommend to you, if you allow me to recommend to you, this Naked Mind, and the 30-day alcohol experiment. I recently read and did that, not to quit drinking entirely for me, but just to sort of do an alcohol experiment and just sort of be curious about it. And I highly recommend it. It's really interesting. And I think that Annie Grace, who wrote those books, has a lot of great insight, not just for managing a relationship with alcohol, but it can be used for food as well. Resources, ED focus meetings. Yes, I think there are some ED meetings happening. Oh yeah. There, yeah. So Angela in Binge definitely abuses alcohol. There's a lot of abuse in the show, because yeah, they are very connected. And when I was really in my eating disorder, they were very connected as well. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Shoot. Oh, another book. I haven't read it, but I've heard that Quit Like a Girl is a really good book about alcohol if you're trying to change your relationship with alcohol or any substance. I know that I am not equipped to talk about alcoholism or substance abuse. That's not an arena that I feel equipped to support on. But I have folks in my life who are in that arena, and that's a book I've heard is really great. For that kind of stuff. And if you're struggling in those arenas, I highly encourage you to get support. I know that, like with eating disorders, just this time is really hard, and we look for other ways to disengage, to zone out, to relax, to quell our anxiety. And during times of big transitions and big stress, it's a time to wait, I can't. Let's see. Guided med. Oh, oops. Oh, wait. I showed Binge to a free Zoom group for guided. Oh, that makes me want to cry. That's really awesome. That's so wonderful. That really makes my day. I can't wait to tell Yuri that. That's really, really cool. And thanks for sharing that. That's wonderful. Oh, that's great. That's great, Lisa. Yeah. I lost my train of thought again. Doing this first thing in the morning has its advantages and disadvantages. Favorite book on intuitive eating? Oh, yes. I have to admit, I've never read books on intuitive eating. I've just worked on it with therapists and in treatment. I keep meaning to, because I hear, isn't there one that's just called intuitive eating that's supposed to be amazing? There's also a gal I follow on Instagram that's like, what is Kristi Harrison? Harrison? And I believe her book is called Say No to Diet Culture or something like that. And she posts little excerpts all the time on social media that I find really, really helpful. Look her up on social media, because I'm not getting her quote right. But anti-diet. Yeah. So I haven't read it. I want to read it, but I love everything that she posts on Instagram. She does a ton of like excerpts from her book, and they all resonate and just make me relieved, honestly, because there's a lot of mixed messages out there on the social media. Great, thanks for sharing resources on this chat thread. What inspired me to do Binge? Well, so I moved out to LA to be an actor. I wasn't a writer, and when I went to treatment, I kind of put everything on hold. And then when I got out of treatment, I was like, okay, I took time off from my life to get well, and now I'm doing better, and I really want to jump back in, and I want to be creative, and I want to do the things, I want to do the life that I recovered for, right? But being an actor is like a lot of waiting for other people to give you opportunities. And I was getting really frustrated with that. And Yuri and I were just friends. And I had worked with him on some of his projects, and he was a writer I really respected. And I just think he's so funny. Don't get a big ego, Yuri, if you're watching this. But I sat down and he offered to, I was like, I kind of want to write this thing about this experience I've just had. And he offered to help me sort of think about how to outline it. And as we were talking about the idea, he was really drawn to it. And we just started working together on it. And it just kind of went from there. Good for you, whoever said they were a week. Have you gotten any further with production? Last thing that's on your YouTube channel said it's coming back. Yeah, so we posted an update a couple of weeks ago about what's going on with it. And you can watch that whole video. But basically, we've had an exciting couple of years, ups and downs, and great opportunities, and things that didn't pan out. But right now, our plan is to we're going to use our crowdfunding money that has been waiting there for us to make a feature film that we're writing right now in quarantine. Of course, with the world being what it is, we have no idea when production would be able to start. Ideally, we'd love to do it this year, but who knows? None of us know when the world is going to be back to normal. And obviously, film sets require a lot of folks working together in close capacity, so we have to wait until that's safe. What can you expect from the feature film? Well, we're still working that out. I've got a draft that I've done, but we've done so much really exciting development this year with MGM and oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. Anyway, with the network or the we did a lot of exciting development. And we learned a lot from people who have worked in television, have worked in storytelling for a really long time. And we want to use what we learned from those people to tell the best version of the story that we can. So, we are working on it. It's fine. It's not a secret. I don't know. This industry is so fickle. I also don't like to jinx. Anyway, blah blah blah. It's fine. It's not a huge secret. It's not a secret. But basically, we worked with some really, really badass storytellers over the past year that helped us develop the project and get it into a really cool spot for television. And so we want to use what we learned from these folks as we adapt it into a feature format, which a feature has to be a more closed story, right, with the beginning, middle, and an end that sort of encapsulates a story within 90 to 120 minutes. But we want to get all of the folks, all of our Frodo and Kate and Amit and everybody. We want to give them the storylines they deserve. But ultimately, it's the story of deciding to fight for your future. Deciding that you're worth your life, I think at its heart is the story that we're gonna look at telling. Yeah, I missed a bunch of stuff, rambling on and on and on. That's the goal. We'll see. That's the goal. Yeah. We have to finish writing it, and we have to get out of quarantine first. We'll see. These are all questions that we can't quite answer just yet. But when we do make it, there will absolutely be a way to get our fans to see it. Definitely. Whether that's a private link, whether that's YouTube, whatnot. Everyone who donated to the crowdfunding campaign will absolutely be able to see it for free. We'd love to, do the festival circuit. We'd love to get folks involved with it. Our goal has always been to reach as many people as possible to try and destigmatize these illnesses. So we're trying to stay true to that mission, but we also are ready to give you some content. So yeah, that's where we're at with all of that. But we can go back to chat and support if we want. I'm sorry that I should set this up on some sort of something so it's not just moving all the time. But I missed a couple of messages. It's a cloudy day in Los Angeles. I think it's going to be raining soon. Destigmatize on. Yeah, I mean, okay, bye, Lisa. It was lovely chatting with you, sending you love, and support and, adaptation during this very strange time. It's very weird, isn't it? I don't know. I'm just really grateful for Jackbox TV. I'm so into it. It's like my favorite thing now. That and coloring books. That's what this quarantine means to me. I've also reconnected with old friends who I wasn't unconnected with, but on Marco Polo and via Zoom, I've gotten to see friends so much more. Other recommendations for positive ED recovery people on social media. Oh, this is a great thread. Everyone put up your suggestions. Folks I love, I of course love Jamila. Jamil. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's amazing. I love What is her Instagram name? Is Body Positive Panda, I think is her Instagram name. Um, who else? Oh, of course. I'm trying to think. I can like see their profile pictures, but I can't. I can't remember their handles. Um, oh, awesome! My body is home. I love that. Oh, be Paulina. Yep. Nourish and Eat. Yep. I follow her. She's great. Um, who else do I follow? I wish I could pull up my Instagram right now, but I'm doing this from my phone. Um, she's not an ED person, but I find Chrissy Teigen's Instagram really delightful. I can see how she might be triggering though, just because she was a supermodel and all that. Most people don't look like her again, but I like her sense of humor. Katie Wilcox, I really like. Megsy Recovery, great. Who else? I follow like Nita and Project Heal, and they have helpful things on there. Who else do I follow? Any advice to opening up to friends about your ED? Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to know what your intention is with opening up. If it's like what you'd like from them, would you like support, would you like understanding, would you like some accountability? So having sort of like, I'm telling you this because, or is it to foster intimacy between friends so that you can be honest with each other, to sort of present to them what you're doing. Like, hey, I want you to know that I'm seeing a therapist, I'm seeing a nutritionist, and I've started anti-anxiety medication. And those are the things I'm doing, so that you can kind of relieve them of the idea that they're responsible for your recovery. Be like, I don't expect you to do anything. You can't heal me, but I love you, and I want to invite you into this experience that I'm having. And then I think also offering them like concrete ways they can help, like, hey, it really helps me because I enjoy seeing you, and it gives me a boost of happiness that I need. Or would you be open to doing a gratitude text chain where we both send each other something we're grateful for every night? Or do you want to do like a fun, like I take a picture of my breakfast, you take a picture of your breakfast, something like that. I've found in my experience that giving my friends concrete ways they can help me is helpful for them. And I think most friends, I don't want to put a value judgment on it, but people, it can, when my friends ask me for support, it makes me feel good. It can be a gift to allow people to help you. Especially during a time like this where a lot of us are feeling rudderless and our purpose has been kind of taken away, being able to support someone is great. But I think if you're asking your friends for support, you need to do your due diligence to also take care of yourself, right? Like, we can't put all of that on our friends and family. We have to be doing our own part. So it's a team effort. Inviting friends into your recovery process can be really a really great way to jumpstart, to like kick your own ass. Like, okay, I've asked Sally to be a part of this, and so I owe it to her to do my part every day. And I think making sure you're choosing the folks that can hold it. If someone's going through a great trauma in their own life, maybe choose a friend who's in a little bit more of a solid place, and providing some materials for them if they want to learn about it, whether it's, to need a website, or to binge if you want to, or, interviews with folks who talk about it, to sort of demystify it. Any advice on how to respond to questions, concern from others when you're not ready to open up? That's a great question. What first comes to mind for me is to reflect back to them, like, thank you for your concern and for reaching out. I feel loved and I feel seen, and I feel I value you and I value your concern, and I am not ready yet, but when I am, could I circle back to you about this? Or if it's like one of the things where like you don't want to talk specifically about what you're going through, but you value being in that person's company, you could say something like, hey, like I'm not ready to talk about this just yet, but would you want to do a Netflix party and watch a movie together? That would actually support me more. So finding ways your loved ones can be a part of your life and let them know that that means something to them. Whether it's just like, hey, want to hop on the phone while I'm cooking breakfast? I don't want to talk about breakfast. I don't want to talk about my feelings around breakfast. But if I could hang out with you while I was doing that, that would be a massive support to me. So let's not talk about food. Let's talk about Love is Blind or your cat. One of the most valuable things during all of my time with my eating disorder was friends who just treated me like a human being during my recovery, who allowed me to continue to just be a friend to them and with them, and not feel like sick all the time. That was a huge support to me. So whether it's hopping on the phone and, talking about inside jokes, whether it's sending memes to each other, things to remind you, because we recover for that. We recover so that our lives can be full and dynamic and challenging and full of friendship and things like that. And so anything that can ground you in the why. If we lose sight of the why, if we don't have our why, then why? Wow, Angela, what a quote. You can quote me on that. Put that on a t-shirt. What? But reminding yourself why, which can be really hard when we're in quarantine. What about opening up to a boyfriend partner? That's really difficult. And I think it can be especially difficult when if you're living with that person. But again, I think this is a little gendered, and of course it's not always going to be true, but I've experienced a lot of men to be very problem-solving oriented. I know my partner is. And so I think having sort of a concrete plan of what you can talk to them about, like, here's what I'm going through, this is what it's like, here's what I'm doing to support myself. Here are some things you can look out for that might indicate that I'm in trouble. Here's what works to support me. Like, everyone's different. For me, when I'm in a feeling, I need alone time to process it. And that's really hard for my partner. My partner likes to process in the moment. He's much more sort of able to be present and verbal with his feelings in the moment. I need time by myself to process that. So being able to communicate, hey, when I'm hurting, when I'm going through something, I need like 25 minutes of solitary time. And if you could give me that, that would be an amazing gift. And that's actually a huge, you giving me alone time is an expression of love and is an expression of support. So being clear, and that might involve some reflection, some self-reflection on your own. You might not know what that is for yourself yet, but do a little work before you open up to know what can you give this person to give you. Because we don't want our loved ones to be in pain. When we hear a loved one say, I'm struggling, I'm in pain, we want to help. We want to be able to do something to make that struggle easier for them. And eating disorders can be really scary and confusing for folks who have never experienced them. And so if you can give them some ways to support you, that would be awesome. I think that would be a gift. I think also giving them materials, websites, pamphlets, documentaries, things that they can watch to get a little more insight on it. And just like the reassurance and the truth that you are working on it and that you are doing your part. And so for you, that means a commitment to yourself and to your partner to work on it and to fight for not only you, but for them and for your future together. So I think letting a partner in is a really incredible, bold thing to do. Do you think it's possible to recover on your own without professional help? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do think it's possible. I have friends who have done it. I needed professional help. I needed to be in treatment. I could not have done it alone. Well, I don't know if anyone can ever really do it alone. We need our support systems, right? But I think the big thing is in recovering without professional help is you got to get that nutrition piece in place, Because if you are not getting the nutrients you need, your brain will not be functioning in a way that you can recover. So, whether that's one appointment with the nutritionist where they set you up on a meal plan and then you go and do your recovery, whether that's you reading a book on intuitive eating and being ballsy enough to just follow it, great. Um, I think the trick with recovering in and out of treatment is that eating disorders are really tricky and they're really sneaky, and it can be easy. They hide, so you have to have you have to really get that flashlight out and be looking around in that brain and say, is that an eating disorder hiding behind that thought? It's hard to do, but yeah, you can do it. I've had friends that have done it. Everyone's on their own path. Yeah. How can I deal with being treated differently or awkward with when it gets awkward with people at home? What do you mean by that? Do you mean because of your eating disorder? I think a lot of awkwardness tends to come from folks not wanting to say the wrong thing, not knowing how to handle a moment. And I think the more we can demystify these experiences, I always use humor to diffuse awkwardness and be like, hey, I'm cool, I'm good, or this is really hard for me. Let's watch a movie and distract ourselves. If you can name a really general response to that question. Anyone else have any advice? Just a little more coffee. Of course. Any last questions or things before we say goodbye for this week? I'm gonna be doing this every Sunday morning that we're locked down as a world. What a time. Yeah, it's weird times. It's very weird times. Of course, I'm happy to do them. They're very helpful for me as well. They're, a way for me to stay accountable to myself as well. Love you all so much. And thank you. I encourage you all, that would be amazing. I encourage you all to connect with each other and to seek support and to seek therapists and to seek coloring books and to take naps and to stretch and to just know that we're all doing the best we can, and that's all we can do right now. This is uncharted waters for all of us, and getting through it is a big accomplishment. So hats off to you all for showing up this morning and to showing up for yourself and giving yourself 45 minutes of a Sunday to be in this community. I love you all so much. Hang in there. And on our Binge website, bingetheseries.com, there is a resources Google Doc with a bunch of different support resources that I encourage you to check out. All right, I got to get more coffee. Everyone, have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Mwah.